This investment guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Presented by National Stock Exchange. Co-presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Good morning, you're with us here on Business Today. I'm Aabha Bakaya. We're going to get you all the action ahead of market opening. First, a look at what's hot in the corporate and financial world this morning. Stock markets are set for a gap-up opening after the US reduces tariffs on India by 25% and a framework for an overall trade deal is reached. Sentiments are also on a high after the Japanese and Korean markets zoomed 5% this morning. The Dow also closed at a new high on Friday. Biggest gains expected in sectors like textiles, apparel, engineering goods, auto components and specialty chemicals. Reduction in US tariffs not only boosts export competitiveness but increases margins for Indian manufacturers as well. There's also some good news with foreign portfolio investors remaining net buyers of Indian securities on Friday. Gold continues to be a favorite of Indian investors despite its high prices. World Gold Council data shows gold ETFs attracted a whopping $2.5 billion in January, nearly double that of December. The amount was more than half of the entire fiscal's inflows. Some bad news for Maruti Suzuki, with the government reportedly scrapping plans for fuel efficiency concession for small cars under new CAFE 3 norms. According to Reuters, the pullback comes after objections from other auto companies that the rules unfairly favored Maruti's dominance in the lightweight segment. State Bank of India lifts FY26 loan growth outlook to 13 to 15% as Q3 profit jumps 25%. Chairman CS Sethi flags deposit pressure from market-linked savings, backs stronger bond markets and says India-US trade deal removes tariffs overhang and has opened global supply chain opportunities for MSME. But let's also bring you the latest on precious metals. They are edging higher this morning. Gold, silver bouncing back on a weak dollar and of course on risk on trade with Iran in the backdrop. Gold is now 2,700 has jumped 2,700 rupees at 1.58 lakhs per 10 grams. MCX silver has surged 14,500 rupees at 2.63 per kilo. Remember, we have seen huge volatility in silver in particular, while gold of course has been gradually inching up. Metals are currently up on a weak dollar and also Iran tension. So we'll keep an eye on those for you during the week. 2 days after the joint statement on the India-US trade deal, markets are now reacting to the mega agreement as more and more clarity comes to the surface. The pact is set to boost labor-intensive sectors and MSMEs, including textiles, auto components and machine parts. Leather, footwear, handicrafts and handlooms all set to gain. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has outlined beneficiary sectors, while the Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has assured safeguards for farmers and the dairy sector.
वस्त्र क्षेत्र के साथ जुड़े हैं, टेक्सटाइल्स, लेदर के और फुटवेयर के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, टॉयज के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, स्पोर्ट्स गुड्स के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं. ढेर सारे ऐसे क्षेत्र हैं जहां भारत को अब अमेरिकन मार्केट में लाभ मिलेगा. जो मशीनरी और पार्ट्स, अलग अलग प्रकार के मशीनरी के पार्ट्स होते हैं, खिलौनों का मैंने जिक्र किया, टॉयज, ज्वेलरी जो बनती है, ज्वेलरी, लेदर एंड फुटवेयर, टेक्सटाइल और अपैरल का बहुत बड़ा हमारा निर्यात में फायदा होगा।
प्रमुख अनाज, प्रमुख फल, हमारे डेयरी उत्पाद, उनके लिए कोई द्वार अमेरिका के लिए नहीं खोला गया है। कृषि और डेयरी उत्पादों के अलावा इस लिस्ट में कई मसाले भी सम्मिलित हैं। भारत अमेरिका से काली मिर्च, लौंग, सूखी हरी मिर्च, दालचीनी, धनिया, जीरा, हींग, अदरक, हल्दी, अजवाइन, मेथी, केसिया, सरसों, राई, भूसी और अन्य पाउडर मसाले नहीं मंगवाएगा। मतलब लगभग हमारे मसाले सुरक्षित हैं। भारतीय किसानों के कृषि उत्पादों को, कई कृषि उत्पादों को अमेरिका में शून्य शुल्क पर निर्यात किया जाएगा, लेकिन अमेरिकी किसानों के कृषि उत्पादों को भारतीय बाजार में ये छूट नहीं मिली है। और मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, भारत के कृषि और डेयरी के हित पूरी तरह से सुरक्षित है।
All right, we're joined by both Shailendra Bhatnagar as well as Amrish Paliga this morning. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. Just counting down to opening. Amrish, let me get you in first. We're starting the week on a good note. Asia on a high post political victories in Japan. We've got US recovering post the rout on tech that we saw last week. Trade deal, of course, has come through and markets have been cheering that. So all systems seem to be on track this morning. Amrish?
Absolutely. I think the big events are all over and it's been positive, especially the, US-India trade treaty. Earnings are nearly getting over, possibly another 1 week or more. And, we have the monetary policy, which was, in line with expectations, and that's over. Japanese elections have been positive. We had a budget where it was a bit negative for the markets, but then that was covered by the US treaty. So going ahead, at least the next couple of weeks looks extremely bullish. The way, the world markets are also set up. I think the only issue seems to be the Russian oil. On which there is no clarity. Both the ministries are putting on to each other, both Commerce Ministry as well as the Foreign Affairs Ministry. And as you know, I think the biggest risk is President Trump. You never know when things can change. But assuming everything remains as it is, I think we should see a extremely good move as far as the Indian markets are concerned. I will not be surprised if we see a new high over the next couple of weeks. So clearly, from a short to medium term perspective, I'm bullish.
Great. So some amount of a catch-up expected there. Otherwise, we've been seeing cautious range-bound trade now this year so far. Just counting down to opening now. Let me just take a look at the screens. And all right, opening ticks up over 100 points on the Nifty. Share, let me get you in on what you're tracking.
Well, good morning to all ladies and gentlemen. SBI off the blocks, sprinting ahead 3.7% higher. Other banks are also following suit, in particular Kotak is 2.5% higher, but the trade deal with the US, the fine print coming in, and jewelry stocks and textile stocks are buzzing with gains. Kalyan Jewellers 4.5% higher, kissing 398. You have top gainers in the form of KPR Mills. There is strength coming into counters such as Welspun Living. These are all exporters of fabrics as well as finished products in the textile space to the US market. 4% higher on Welspun Living. KPR Mills is buzzing 1.1% higher. You have strength in metals. Hindustan Zinc 1.3% higher. Shipping Corporation taking it away 9% higher. This is the top gainer as far as markets are concerned. Gains are also seen on Tata Steel, now a fresh high above 200 rupees. Karur Vyasa Bank, another fresh high, a record move coming in at 1.5% higher. Naveen Fluorine earnings today at 6450. Chemicals, ladies and gentlemen, are big winners in this US trade deal because the tariffs on Chinese imports of chemicals into US stands at 15%. Ours is at 18%. So that's a gap that's very good for Indian chemical industry. Of course, metals being represented by APL Apollo, JSW Steel and Jindal Steel and Power. These are the top gainers as far as markets are concerned at this point of time. Let's go to Ambrish and find out what his views are on the chemical space. Good morning to you, Ambrish. A favorite on that one?
Which I think should do extremely well based on the US-India trade treaty. And in this, I would surely look at something like Deepak Nitrite, Archon Chemicals. I think some of these should really benefit out of the exports to US.
Okay, fair point.
SBI, because that's the one that...
ladies and gentlemen, silver ETFs.
Okay, Amrish, let me bring up SBI, 5.5%, almost 6% higher today. Now that's the market heavyweight, and I'd go so far as to say a huge part of the contribution is coming in from an SBI this morning, 6% up. Of course, earnings have been fantastic, commentary is intact, but they do allude to tight liquidity, they do allude to deposit pressure. What do you make of the commentary?
See, the commentary has been a bit cautious, but the performance has been extremely good. And this is the sort of a performance which we've seen for the last couple of quarters, because of which, if you look at the last 1 year, I mean, SBI has appreciated about 45%. With today's move, it should be more than 50%. And I see this momentum continuing because liquidity, anyway, I mean, going ahead, we should see liquidity, easing to a certain extent. I think RBI will take the right moves. And what I see happening in the PSU banking space is a consolidation. I mean, we have about 12, 13 PSU banks now, which will possibly get merged into about 4 or 5 large PSU banks. And SBI, again, would be one of the major gainers there. So, at least in the medium term, I see levels of about 1280 or so as far as SBI is concerned. But this is a stock not to be held on for much longer term.
Okay, so that's clearly on the retail side, Amrish. On the private sector capex front, where do you see the challenge? Because that was still a roaring debate even after this budget in terms of whether or not the demand scenario was robust enough to drive private sector capex. Do you feel we've already seen some indications of this? Do you feel it's still going to be a continued challenge?
No, it's been a challenge for a long time, but with most of the issues getting sorted, I mean, especially I'm talking of the India-US trade treaty. I think in the last 5-6 months, this was one of the major issues as far as the private capex was concerned. I think with this also getting sorted out, and with new export markets opening up, I mean, we have signed off, trade treaties with a number of other countries, including EU. So, really, I see capex, the private capex, starting off at least over the next 1 or 2 quarters, and that I think should take care of the credit.
Okay. Shell, let me bring you in. I think you had a question earlier.
I think we just spoke on the chemical space in which Ambrish mentioned Archean Chemicals as one of his top picks. I'd like to mark the silver ETF going into strength. You have silver Bs now trading 7.5% higher. SBI just rocketing, fresh record high. Aabha here at 6%. I can't remember the last time you saw such a move coming into SBI. This indeed is a record high, and a bank that controls 25% of Indian banking is doing good. Gold Bs are also 2.6% higher, and of course you have strength coming into other metal counters as well, in particular Hindustan Copper, Hindustan Zinc, Tata Steel. Aabha.
Tata Steel, of course, also the 723% surge in net profit in December, 723%. That's 2,689 crores now for Tata Steel. That's up from 327 crore in the corresponding period last year. That's just phenomenal. I'm going to get Amrish's view on the charts on Tata Steel, but just to mark a few other gainers on earnings, Kalyan Jewellers also net profit up 90%. 90% on a Kalyan Jewellers to 416 crores. That's compared with 218 crores last year. Strong revenue coming in, rising 42% year on year as well. So that's on Kalyan. We've got Tata Steel, SBI, some of these names that are just skyrocketing on earnings this morning. Coming back to, and of course, Shipping Corporation of India. Let me just pull that one up for you as well. That's up 13% on earnings today. Amrish, I want to just come to Tata Steel first, because what are the kind of targets one would look at on this counter given the kind of phenomenal surge in numbers?
Yeah, we have seen the net profit rising multifold, and basically the margins have improved sequentially because of the cost control measures which they have taken. Low raw material costs also have helped. So I think we should see this sort of a performance at least in the foreseeable quarters. So my target here is about 250. It is the initial target is possibly when that's reached, we could, I would again revisit and see whether it can move up further from here or not.
Okay. Lots of buzzers in the broader markets on the back of the trade deal as well, as we had marked at the start of the show. So a whole host of those, whether it's the likes of Avanti Feeds, whether it's other agri counters, whether it's jewelers. We're seeing just a whole smattering of names in the broader markets that are moving higher on the back of the trade deal impact as well. Now, the government has reportedly scrapped planned concessions for small cars in its upcoming fuel efficiency and emission rules. According to news agency Reuters, the decision comes after major automakers, including Tata Motors and Mahindra, pushed back, saying the proposed relief would unfairly benefit only one company. A draft leniency for petrol cars weighing under 909 kilos, widely seen as favoring the small car segment, has now been reportedly removed, with stricter standards applied across all vehicles. The revised regulations, due to kick in from April next year for 5 years, aim to drive stronger emission cuts and accelerate electric and hybrid vehicle adoption. Non-compliance could draw fines of up to $550 per car as India pushes for cleaner transport and lower carbon output. That's the latest on the auto pack there. I think overall, though, Amrish, everyone still remains to be fairly bullish on auto, regardless of a few of these regulatory changes coming in, or duty cuts and so on and so forth. The outlook still continues to be fairly robust.
When look at the numbers month on month. We've seen record numbers, but I think this, the recent announcement would be a bit negative for Maruti, because they have the largest number of petrol cars in that space. So I think they may also have to look at what Tata Motors have been doing. Most of the small cars have been converted into EVs. I think they may have to change the strategy. If they want to keep the sort of market share which they have. Otherwise, you will have the smaller EVs taking over the market share.
All right, a fair view coming in there on Maruti in particular, and auto is a little tepid today. But let's come back to silver, gold, and take a look at, for example, the Nippon Silver Index, because or Silver Bees, it's continuing to skyrocket. And keep your attention when it comes to the moves that we're seeing on those precious metals. They continue to be volatile, but this morning silver is back in action, up about 8% on Nippon Silver there, as you can see on your screen. And a whole host of other earnings reactions that we're spotting for you as well in the broader markets. Shell, what else are you tracking?
Well, Aabha, I'm looking at the banking space. Post the blowout that you've had in State Bank of India, many other banks are doing extremely well. Look at Indian Bank, now 3.5% higher. Bank of India rushing up 2.5%. Central Bank, UCO Bank, PNB, all going into a strong uptick. But this is at the same time when the private banking setup ain't so good. So you have HDFC Bank slipping to 940, ICICI Bank at 1402, Kotak at about 426. So strong rally in the PSU banking sector thanks to SBI's wonderful talk about credit explosion and the fact that you have a lot of momentum in the entire PSU basket as well. You mentioned SCI. I'm also looking at metals, all of them doing pretty well. Aabha.
All right, Amrish, Shell, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll leave it there. We'll be back again at 3 o'clock to walk you through market closing. Good start to the week and to the trading day. Thanks so much for watching.
Presented by National Stock Exchange. Co-presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Visit! Visit! Visit!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
And gentlemen, equities are off to a flyer. You have a very strong cues coming into Wall Street and from the Asian markets, plus also the fine print of the Indo-US trade deal being announced post the weekday close on Friday over the weekend. So momentum is strong. What are being the top gainers? The entire metal space is doing well post the strong show by Tata Steel. So fresh record high on Tata Steel, as also JSW Steel, Jindal Steel and Power, as also APL Apollo. That's one part of the market. Precious metals are doing very well. That's silver and gold. Silver ETFs are 6.5% higher, and about 570 crores worth of silver is already traded in the first 15 minutes of trade. But the blowout, ladies and gentlemen, is happening on State Bank of India. A very strong commentary coming in on credit dispersal, and that points to a lot of activity on the economic part of the broader corporate structure. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is resulting in a 6 percentage point uptick in SBI. It's also pulling a lot of PSU banks higher, in particular Bank of India, Indian Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, Bank of Baroda, PNB, Canara Bank or so. Essentially, it means that the economy is now getting into a fast track. Remember, PSU banks broadly lend to corporates, private sector banks broadly lend to retail. That's why private sector banks are in bit of a dip today. Be that as it may, let's join Vaishali Parekh from Prabhudas Leeladhar. She is with us. A very good morning to you, Vaishali. Great start to Monday. Strong traction coming in. A view on SBI, please.
Very good morning, Shanti. Yes, we have got a good start, and thanks to SBI, that Bank Nifty is also surging high. Very good results, opened gap up. So I think we would now look forward to a target of perhaps 1150 to 1180. That would be the way to look at it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the advance decline is really strong. 1959 shares, almost 2000 shares in the green versus 445 in the red. So it's an easy 4:1. For every 1 share in the red, there are 4 that are gaining ground. Let's get back to Vaishali. Some stocks, Vaishali, which are buzzing on your charts. How do you see them today?
Well, so today I think there are quite a few opportunities, but my comfort always lies in stocks which are technically well placed. So I'm definitely looking at Kane's technology. After okay results, I think we saw a gap down last week, and once again it's surging high. So well, it gives a clarity about 3850, and which we see an opening above that. I think this stock is ready to now move higher towards 4,500, 5,000 levels. So my stop loss would be around 3450, and I would look forward to this stock for higher targets. The other one is Shriram Finance, which I have mentioned very many times. Very strong trend, oscillating in these levels, but I think clarity comes about 1025, 1026. So Shriram Finance is another stock which I would be looking at for a good short-term trading strategy, looking for a target of 1100.
So 2 stocks, ladies and gentlemen. Shriram Finance, which over the last 6 months or so has been notching up a lot of fundamental wins in the form of a new suitor from Japan, MUFG. That's doing pretty well, and of course strength, as Vaishali mentions, in KNS Technologies, 3.6% higher, 227 crores traded. Remember, KNS has slipped dramatically. What you see 38, 36 till about 6 months ago was 7,000 rupees. So value buying coming in at that particular point. Vaishali, favorites amongst metals, record high in the entire steel pack. Jindal Steel and Power, JSW Steel, APL Apollo, not to mention Tata Steel. Your view?
So I would be, well, still continuing to be positive, but I would not recommend a fresh buy, especially in Jindal Steel and Power. For a fresh buy, I would look at Tata Steel, because I think this still has a scope of going towards 220. So I think 185 can be taken as support as far as Tata Steel is concerned, and look for a target of 220. That's how I would look at. And my all-time favorite, which I never forget to say, is Steel Authority of India. Still a buy at every decline. Ideal level to buy this stock would be at around 152, and I would be looking for a target of 175 as a positional trade.
Okay, ये राय आपको मिल रही है metal space पे. Strong reversals, well, not exactly strong, let me just say fairly decent changes coming into on the green side into BDL. Look at HAL. These are stocks that were beaten down last week. Masgaon Dock gaining ground. So these are the stocks that are also doing well in the space which is the defense counters. Vaishali, a quick view on 2 favorites from the market as far as the PSU banking setup is concerned. Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda, both opening gap up. Bank of Baroda now 292.8 and Canara Bank 149.6. Both of them in strength. How do you see these charts?
Canara Bank, I would say it needs to cross the resistance. We are seeing a 20 period for an intraday basis of 150 level is the resistance. So once we see the stock sustaining above that, this can go towards 155, 188, 158 levels. So Canara Bank, that would be a trading strategy accordingly, and the stop loss would be 145. Similarly, Bank of Baroda also, we are seeing that there is a resistance at 294, 295. So once we see the stock sustaining above that, this could trigger a further strength going towards 305, 310. And for this, the stop loss would be 288.
Okay. Anything apart from the PSU banking and the metals banking space that catches your attention? How would you treat silver at this point of time, Vaishali?
I would definitely say that silver has, as we mentioned even last time, it has a good support. I'm talking about the ETF right now. That's what I have on my chart. 190 to 220 is the support level. So that was a very good opportunity to start accumulating this stock. I would say not in a hurry. I mean, it is a very volatile zone right now. I mean, in silver. So I would say accumulation for a positional buy would be ideal way of handling this. So as far as if I'm talking about Motilal or even NAM, I think 220 to 250. So broad base, let's say 200 is the level which is an accumulation zone. One must start buying from there on.
Okay, let me just digress a bit. I'll mark the moves that are coming in. Look at Indian hotels, 1% higher at 690. Indus Towers 2% higher at 452. What is also moving in strength as far as the volume picture concerned is of course SBI that we've marked, but Shipping Corporation 12.5% higher on Shipping Corporation, 249.5. Volume is super good, 1.36%, 1.36 crores. Let's just get Vaishali's view in, and a little known counter, JK Tyre, 5% higher, 565. These are high beta counters, Vaishali. Shipping Corporation and JK Tyres to you.
Yes, so before I say that, I am suggesting this stock Indus Tower, which is looking very positive. I'm looking at this chart from all time periodicity, whether it's a monthly, weekly, daily, it's on the verge of a breakout. So above 455, if it sustains, it's giving us higher targets of 480. So this is one stock which one should look into. Now let's come to Shipping Corporation. That's what you're asking me. Shipping Corporation right now at 250 levels.
Yes.
Gap up. I think the good level, it was giving us a good support last week at around 220. That was a good buy zone. Even right now, it is open gap up. I think this is ready as a positional trade. This can go towards 280 levels. So this is Shipping Corporation of India. Now, as far as JK Tyre is concerned, I have been recommending this stock to our clients as a disclaimer. I think long term, this should be held on because overall tire stocks have been doing well, and we saw good pickup coming in right now on Friday in almost all tire stocks. So now for a new view in JK Tyre, 500 acts as a support, and this can go towards 650 levels. So my view is positive, and we have recommended a buy.
Okay, Bank of India, ladies and gentlemen, the new kid on the block, post this very strong move that is coming into SBI, is now making fresh inroads into higher territory. I remember 225, but that was ages ago. At this point, 169.5, and the gains are fairly decent, 3.5% higher. Vaishali, a view on Bank of India?
So I think among all the other PSU bank, this has been showing good momentum today. This too has retested the previous high of 169, 170. Volume is pretty all right. So I would wait for this stock to move past 170. And if that is so, then maybe furthermore as a trading strategy, I would look at 175 or so. But I would maintain a strict, disciplined trading strategy because we are already in an overbought zone.
Okay. Fair point. This is what the status is at this point of time. And your favorite BEL, would you want to step in here as well? About 434, we are about 1% higher on BEL, and we've seen 460 about 3-4 days ago.
So that still continues to be the resistance level. So I would say for now, I would see a range of 400 to 440. Above 440, I would look for a further target of 460, 470.
Okay. I'll also mark a particular sector, which is jewelers. Look at Senco Gold, look at Shanti Gold, Kalyan Jewelers. All of them are rocketing. Basically on higher gold prices, and a strong show that has come in from Kalyan Jewelers. Essentially, we do not know how much volume has risen, but sales have run up dramatically. Profit is way higher, mainly because how gold prices have moved. So whatever sales have happened at very, very high prices. So higher margins, higher sales. We still don't know what is the volume picture at this point of time. Vaishali, anything that is catching your attention at this point of time?
I would say so. As far as Senco Gold is concerned, well, we have been seeing some pickup in volume since last 2 days, and I would just take it as a trading strategy. 330 would act as a support, and 380 would be the next target to look at. So I don't really give long-term trading strategies for this. I would just strictly take it as a short-term positional trade.
Okay, fair point. Something that you are avoiding on charts at this point of time?
Well, not really. Actually, I'm looking for good buying opportunity. I'm looking at Fortis right now. That is at a good level. So that's one stock to my liking. As far as the cash segment is concerned, I'm looking at Voltime transformers. Technically very well placed. 8,000 was a good level. And I think if this momentum and this trend continues, this can go towards 8,500, 9,000 levels, so on. So value buying is what I would look at right now.
Okay, fair point. Let me also highlight more gains in terms of stocks that are rocketing. Jai Bharat Maruti, 15.8% higher, 98 rupees. You have strength coming into Atul Auto, 11% higher, 495. You have strength in the entire silver ETF space from the all possible asset management companies. So HDFC Silver is doing very well. You have Tata Silver that's in strength. SBI Silver ETF is doing pretty well, and ETFs of silver from many other AMCs, Axis Silver ETF, Motilal Oswal ETF are all up between 6.5-7%. Are there stocks that are hitting new highs that we've just marked? Yes. MRPL 193.4, 4.4% higher. You have a fresh high coming into Naveen Fluorine, 2.5% higher. Sharda Crop Science, 2.2% higher. Bajaj Consumer, 2.7% higher. And you have a strong move which is coming into GE Shipping as well, 2.8% higher. That's the state of play, ladies and gentlemen, at this point of time. Very, very strong opening moves coming into the market. Thanks to overseas cues being strong from Wall Street as well as Asia, and of course the details of the Indo-US trade deal being known. Be that as it may, PSU banks are rocketing, metals are in top shape, and of course you have value buying coming into broader sectors as well, including Kaynes Technologies. Final word goes to you, Vaishali. How do you see the rest of the week panning out?
So I think the positive streak should continue. I'm looking at 25,500 as the weekly support and 26,200. That is the range we are looking at. So for this, of course, gradually, but I think this is the band that I would observe for this week.
Okay. 9:45, ladies and gentlemen, we call it day as far as this particular show is concerned. Thank you, Vaishali, for your wonderful views. And of course, we'll keep an eye out on Kaynes Technologies as also Shriram Finance, both of them at the opposite spectrum of the market. Kaynes Technologies recovering from body blows inflicted by the market over the last 6 months. A bit of value buying there. And of course, Shriram Finance right at the top. So that's a breakout that's being tracked by Vaishali, and there is value buying that's being tracked in Kaynes Technologies. Thank you for your time, and we'll be back again shortly. Please continue watching Business Today Television.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Visit! Visit! Visit!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.